All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to talk about the National League playoff picture. So before I get into that, over this weekend, again, another crazy week of football, right? As well as a crazy week of baseball. Um, the one thing I just want to mention is listen. It's been a long time since there's been 60 points. A team has scored 60 points in an NFL game. And the last time that was done, I was like 10, 11 years old. Yesterday, the Miami Dolphins scored 70 points against the Denver Broncos. And I never thought I would see that. And, probably the funniest thing that I saw out of yesterday was ESPN posted a video. And so the most points scored by a team in a single game was 72. And the Dolphins could have broke the record by kicking a field goal. And Mike McDaniel, the head coach, he took a knee. He just kneed it, and they didn't do anything. And the caption was, because he did that, classy move by McDaniel. And I go, classy move? They put up 70 points on a team. And what? And you're calling it classy? I don't know. But yeah, that was wild to see. But yeah, I just wanted to and now everyone's calling the Broncos just a mess. It's bad. But I just thought that was very funny. But anyways, so let's get into, speaking of crazy, let's get into the National League playoff picture. Smooth transition there. So a lot happened this weekend regarding that. So I know on the last 2 days, of the week, last week, I said, hey, the San Diego Padres got a soft schedule to finish the year. Teams are struggling. Who's to say it's not impossible? Who's to say it's not possible for them to somehow sneak in? Well, they're not going to. They are not going to. Right now, they got 2 more games, and then they're eliminated, whether it's them losing or teams winning ahead of them. They will not be making the playoffs. Them and the Giants, they did technically pass the Giants, but, right now they're ahead of the Giants, but the Giants and them are tied for the same record. They will not be making it. So it's really going to come down to, the Reds are 2.5 games back, but I think right now they might be done as well. I think right now it's going to come down to the Marlins and the Cubs. That's really what you got to focus on. So right now, and I got to switch this around actually. So sorry about that. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay, now we got that, and there we go. Okay, that's what we were trying to do. So right now, as it currently stands, you have the Phillies, 87 and 69. They're up on the Diamondbacks. They got the top spot, which they're most likely going to keep. Then you got the Diamondbacks at 82 and 73. We're a half game up on the Cubs. And the Cubs are at 82 and 74. The Cubs, big weekend for them. They swept the Rockies. And that's what they were supposed to do. And because of that, that is why the Padres are pretty much done. Because the Cubs did not play well against the Pirates. So I thought, hey, Padres got a shot. Now, the Padres did lose one of their games against the Cardinals. And it was in extra innings. And with that, the Padres are 0-12 in extra inning games this season. 0-12. Now, again, I thought the Yankees were bad in extra innings, but oh no. There's a team that is worse than that. I mean, the Yankees at least have won extra innings. The Padres are 0-12. And you flip some of those games around, and you could be one of those wild card teams right there. And again, that's why going back to last week when I talked about some of the team's records, if you flipped all the one-run games, Padres are in the playoffs. And if they win some of those games in extra innings, they are in the playoffs right now. Or at least right there with the Marlins, trying to catch the Cubs. So it is, it's crazy that that's even possible. But yeah, again, you got the Diamondbacks are a half game up. So, they took the first 2 games against the Yankees. I mean, they go for the sweep. That's, a big win. Every win is huge at this point in the season. So, I mean, I think the Diamondbacks should go out there and sweep the Yankees. They should. They need this final game. Cubs are right behind them. So, but yeah, I think as of right now, I think the Reds. I think they're kind of out of it. They're 2.5 games back. Anything's possible, but I think right now, it's you got the Marlins, Diamondbacks, and Cubs. That's it right there. Marlins had a good weekend, they didn't have a good first game, but they did win Saturday and Sunday against the Brewers because Friday's game. So Corbin Burnes was on the mound, and it was going to be a tough game. It was. It was 0-0 after the first inning, but in the top of the second inning, the Brewers put up 12 runs. 12. And the Marlins never had a chance. Josh Donaldson hit a 2-run home run. William Contreras, a single that scored a run. Carlos Santana doubled. Mark Hanna doubled. Sal Frelick singled. Josh Donaldson grounded out that scored a run. Bryce Terang, he singled. Blake Perkins, double. Christian Yelich, home run. 12-0. 12-0. Yelich hit a 3-run home run, another home run, so that ended up, Santana hit a single before that. Yelich hit a 3-run homer. It was 16-0. And then John Birdie hit a solo and a home run, and final score was 16-1. So, yeah, the weekend did not get off to a good start for the Marlins, to put it lightly. However, they won 5-4 against the Brewers. The Brewers were losing 4-0 the whole game. They scored 4, not the whole game, but most of the game. They put up a 4 spot in the top of the 6th to tie the game at 4. And then the Marlins got a run in the bottom of the 8th, and that led to them winning. It was on an awful wild pitch. And they ended up winning the game 5-4. Jake Berger actually he came back, so that injury wasn't too serious. He hit a 3-run home run. 34 home runs on the season for Jake Berger. So, again, I just want to look at his stats with the Marlins. I mean, his overall stats this year are great. 250, 34 home runs, 79 RBIs, 843 OPS. But you look at his stats. So with the White Sox this year in 88 games, 214 batting average, on base was 279, 527 slugging, and 806 OPS. Now the slugging is around the same. Batting average 313, on base percentage 369, OPS 903. Now again, 48 games, but he has been great for the Marlins. And Arise was back in the lineup, so that's big. So the Marlins, the guys that were out of the lineup, they're back in, and that's huge. So they still have a chance, and Cubs got to be careful because if they slip up, they're done. They're not making the playoffs, and it does not get easy for the Cubs. Oh no, it does not, because they have a date with the Atlanta Braves. Now the Braves are still, playing for home field. They're pretty much going to get it, but it's not solidified yet. So the Cubs have to deal with the Braves in Atlanta, and then they got to play 3 in Milwaukee. Now, the Brewers pretty much have the division wrapped up. They just need to win one game. The magic number's down to 1. So they're going to get it. So you think maybe Maybe the Brewers decide, we clinched, we're good. We're pretty much going to be that third team. I don't know. They sit people. Or, again, play your starters. So, I don't really know. Like, baseball, like football, they do it. I mean, it's different. But it could happen. It could happen. But, not good for the Cubs right now. I mean, they swept the Rockies, so that was big. But, yeah, they got a very hard schedule coming up. And as for the Marlins, they got 3 against the Mets and then 3 against Pittsburgh. So right now, kind of favor the Marlins. Kind of have to favor the Marlins that they're going to get it done and sneak in. And the Cubs, and that would mean the Cubs are out. And then the Diamondbacks, they got the Yankees for one more game. They got the White Sox, and then they got the Astros. So, right now, based off of the schedule, Cubs are going to be the team that's on the outside looking in. At least in my opinion. But that does not mean that the Cubs can't shock the world. And, I mean, it's not like the Cubs are a bad team, so I can't really say, like, shock the world. But the Cubs go out and then maybe take the series against the Braves. I mean, they got Justin Steele pitching tonight. So, or not tonight, but tomorrow. So, that's big. Even though he didn't pitch well his last start against Elder, who's 12-4 with a 3.63 ERA. So that's going to be that's going to still be a tough game. Then they got Tyone on Wednesday. Yeah, it's gonna against the Braves. That's going to be rough. That's going to be a little rough. Yeah, Tyone has not pitched well for the Cubs this year. Against the Yankees, he pitched good. But yeah, 8-10, 5+ ERA. Yeah, not good. So yeah, well, I mean, right now, I think that right now you got to favor the Marlins at this point. But again, it's always changing. It is always changing, and we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's basically the playoff picture right now for the National League. Braves are going to get home field advantage most likely. Dodgers are going to be the 2 seed. So those teams are going to have byes. Brewers are going to be playing in the wild card round against either the Cubs, Diamondbacks, or the Marlins. That's what it looks like right now. So, and then you got the Phillies with the top spot, and they're going to play whatever happens with those 3 teams as well. Because Diamondbacks are only a half game up, so they could have a slip up, and then they could be out of it. It's wild. It's just that's why they call it the wild card, I guess. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it with today's show. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend regarding the standings. Things changed, and yeah, tomorrow. I didn't go over it today, but we'll go over the power rankings that were released this week, and I'll give my thoughts on that. We'll recap the games from tonight. Talk about the standings. And, yeah, that'll basically be the rundown for tomorrow. So after this, I will record the Patreon. So, again, if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, you go to patreon.com and you search up GSMC Sports Network. And that's where you'll get the exclusive content that you do not get on this live broadcast. But, again, a great show, as always. And I will be back again tomorrow. 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to tune in for that. And pretty sure all the shows from last week are up, the broken down segments of them. So they're up, and also they're on Spotify as well. So if you missed anything from last week, you can go check that out. I appreciate it. Leave a comment, subscribe to the video, and a like. And I'll try to get to all the comments as best as I can. And, yeah, that's basically a wrap for today's show. So, again, I thank you guys for tuning in and watching. So, as always, I am Kenneth Gruenfelder signing off from the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And, yeah, take care.